What's up guys, Houndish here, and today I wanted to talk about the Age of Triumph, which will be Bungie's final update for Destiny 1. Let's go over what we know about it and what we can realistically expect from the update as well, but also in this video I want to talk about our characters and how we will not carry gear over into Destiny 2, but also why this is an important move and one which players shouldn't be too concerned about. So let's jump into the Age of Triumph stuff. Inside of the blog post where Bungie announced this, they provided a screenshot of a Minotaur at the gates of the Vault of Glass. The fact that they would put this screenshot in, Vault of Glass has no relevancy right now to anything, so using that screenshot pretty strongly suggests that Vault of Glass at the very least will be returning. But if we actually take a look at the Age of Triumph emblem, we can see in the top left we have the Vault of Glass, the kind of triangular shapes right there. To the right of it we have the Sword of Crota, and then we have the Kingsfall icon, and I'm guessing the other thing represents the Wrath of the Machine raid right there. So it is pretty suggestive that we're actually going to get all raids up to current light level, which is pretty exciting. Exactly how Bungie handle this is something that we've yet to see, but they also posted a screenshot for one of the streams showing off some playlists. If we look at this, we see we have Crucible, we have the Daily Mission, Heroic and Nightfall Strikes, then interestingly we have Challenge of Elders or Prison of Elders right there as an icon, and also a raid icon, but both of these are for playlists in the game. So potentially Bungie will have a featured raid every week, or a raid will appear in the playlist which has potentially, challenge modes active. What if they added challenge modes to the old raids as well? One change that I would anticipate in this would be that Crucible playlists may actually be slimmed down in this update. It's something which people have suggested a number of times. With a declining player base and so many playlists for PvP, it's really not helping with, matchmaking and finding players, so it would make sense that perhaps Bungie will reduce the amount of playlists which are active at the same time, for example. So maybe have like 3 or 4 weekly Crucible playlists which are featured, or potentially even less than that, because what's worth remembering is that this is probably being put in place to support Destiny after its sequel has released. So anyone playing Destiny 1, in a year from now will get the benefits of these reduced numbers of playlists to support a much smaller player base. I'm sure this would be a very good thing for the game, but we will of course learn what all of these playlists mean soon. One thing that we don't know about right now is if we will see any light level changes in this update. I would bet that yes, we're probably going to see a light level change. They're bringing back all of this content. It will be, a good additional incentive to have to grind to hit new light levels. Considering that there are normal and hard mode raids, maybe in this update we'll even have, multiple light level changes over time, like when we get a new DLC. So perhaps they could bump the light level up to 420, get hyped boys, or something like that, and then bump it up a few weeks down the road to facilitate the release of hard mode versions of this raids or something like that. We don't know how they're going to handle it, but it's very exciting, and there is a lot of potential right there for an extended period of activities which are relevant to do inside of the game. The final image they showed is for the Sandbox update stream. Now this is a very interesting image because we have what looks like a hunter in kind of what looks like modified Vault of Glass gear, is what I want to say. Interestingly though, the hunter actually has an entirely mechanical leg if you have a look right there. So is this actually a Guardian? We haven't seen armor in the game before that can kind of make your leg, look robotic or entirely made out of metal or anything like that. So could this be an NPC or some kind of AI guide or kind of story element that we might see in the game? That is a possibility. It could still just be armor that we're going to get from, updated Vault of Glass or one of these other activities. Either way, it's very exciting. Also very promising here though is the fact that we get a Sandbox update, and we also get a stream for that. We know that Bungie are going to fix some of the issues that came in the last update 2.5.2, but to have an entire stream, I feel like there are even more changes than that, so that is definitely good. It feels like there could be more changes which affect Crucible as well as PvE content. So for right now, considering this is the last real update to Destiny 1, this looks like a pretty fleshed out experience. Of course, next week we will get the first stream, we will get the first idea of how big this really is, what the content is, what the changes mean for the game, but this is an incredibly exciting time for Destiny, guys. We've got this major final update to the game where they are going to honor, the things that we've done so far, and we're also starting to get information about Destiny 2 and how what we're doing right now and what we've already done in Destiny is going to influence that experience. So it's a very, very, exciting time. Bungie did give us the first words they have pretty much ever spoken about Destiny 2 as well in this update. So there is going to be a full reset in Destiny 2 as far as your character's light levels and gear is concerned. Your characters themselves, their personality, their appearance will transfer over. You just won't be able to go in with your current light level or gear. As far as gear goes, it will be like starting Destiny 1 again. There are a couple of concerns which I've seen a fair amount of from people so far regarding this. So firstly, some people have said they don't like their characters the way they look and they wouldn't be happy being stuck with that inside of the sequel. Now, it's almost certainly going to be the case that you can edit these characters even if they're moving across. This is a fully fleshed out sequel. I just don't anticipate that they're going to force you, to be stuck with something that you already made 3 years ago potentially by that point. So I would anticipate that although these characters will move over, there will almost certainly be some kind of one-time customization or edit that you can do to these characters, if not fully editable characters at any time. So I wouldn't stress about that. It's a major new sequel. They'll almost certainly have systems to manage that. Some players are also anxious because, they've collected all of this gear, these rewards for various activities, and they feel like not having them in Destiny 2 is just letting them go. And yeah, it is. It's one of those things. At some point, you have to move on, you have to do something new and refreshing. You may not be able to walk straight into Destiny 2 with this stuff, but come on. It's Bungie, and there's a lot of nostalgia with this game. At some point in Destiny 2, I would anticipate that a large number of exotics and weapons that we've seen so far will return to that game. I just don't think it's going to happen at launch. And the important thing to remember about when we start the new game, if we have all of the same stuff, the same gear that we already had, firstly, that's a big technical task for Bungie to make all of that stuff work inside of a new game, as well as the networking and kind of data requirements for that. But secondly, when we get expansions to Destiny right now, we can keep everything that we have, and you can start out playing that expansion with the same gear that you've been using for 2 years, get some new gear, and you may even gravitate, as we have in Rise of Iron, back to stuff which we used months ago. And if that was entirely the case in Destiny 2, then it wouldn't really feel like a true sequel. So while it is difficult that some of this stuff is being left behind, the grind is still very important for the new game, and stemming off of that, just another expansion feeling that you might have if you were using the same gear, even inside of Destiny 2, reforging those characters and making them strong again creates a new attachment, it reattaches you to the character or creates something entirely new which isn't the same as what you had with the first character. It needs to be iterated upon, it needs to be updated, it needs to be a new reason to play. So yeah, I just wanted to have that said. I think it's very important that we move away from our gear, at least in the start of the sequel. A big part of that process in discovering the world is finding that stuff again. It's part of what makes Destiny so good, and as players that have played for a very long time and have all the gear and are very powerful, it's pretty easy to forget how important that part of the experience can be. So those are my thoughts on that, guys. But as far as the Age of Triumph goes, I am very excited about this update. Bungie know it's the final update for the game. It has to be impressive, it has to be valuable, and it certainly looks like it's going to be pretty depthy. There's going to be new content, it looks like raids will be returning. There is almost certainly going to be more stuff than that, new quests, potentially new exotics, lots of new gear if these raids are returning, whether it's updated or whatever. It's stuff to recollect, and then we're going to see sandbox changes to economies, changes to playlists. It's super exciting, it's a big update, and I would bargain that this is going to be the biggest update outside of an actual expansion which we've ever seen for Destiny, and we're going to get it within the next month. My bet again is the 28th of March. That is almost certainly when this update will drop. The final stream is on the 22nd, so it seems very likely that that's the case. But let me know what you guys think about this stuff down in the comment section below. I know this has been a bit of a rant of a video, but I just wanted to cover all of what we've learned and some things that are kind of going through my mind. So I'd like to hear what you guys think as well in that comment section. If you've enjoyed the video, a like is always appreciated, and if you're new to the channel and you want to keep up to date with Destiny content, feel free to hit subscribe to see a lot more. But for now, thanks for watching, guys, and have an awesome day.